Hello and welcome to the first televised episode of world-renowned wrestling Gambit. For this historic event, owner George Sinclair vacated every title, and tonight a tournament is being held with the winner becoming the King of World-Renowned Wrestling. Recording from the Mercury Arena in Bristol, England, I am your commentator GC Smith, and I hope you're ready for a wild night of wrestling. And we are starting out strong with not only a former king of world-renowned wrestling, but the longest reigning king at 395 days. He only lost that title 2 weeks ago in a match with James Ali. Most of the contenders for this tournament were picked at random, except for Daniel Cage and James Ali being former kings. I've been watching Cage wrestle now for 3 years. I've seen him start at the very bottom and climb that ladder to the top to where he is now as one of the top faces of this company, and I know that this tournament means everything to him. He's going to do whatever he can to win, and knowing the type of person he is, he's going to push himself through every single match and try his best to win it all. It is not going to be easy though, of course it isn't, because every single person who was picked for this tournament wants to get to the end and win it all, especially this man, Watson, from the tag team, the Bristol Bouncers. Being the king of world-renowned wrestling, it isn't just a title, just to say that you're the best. As soon as you win that belt, you get a cash injection straight into your bank account. And your pay will actually be multiplied by 3. And let me tell you, that's a big thing for the Bristol Bouncers, who have gone on record for saying this is all about the money. That's the only reason they do this. It's not about championships, it's not to make friends, it's about that money. As you can see, Reed has accompanied his tag partner to the ring, a fact that I believe Daniel Cage will be keeping at the back of his mind. Well, here we are now ready for the first ever televised match of world-renowned wrestling. Ring that bell. And we start with Watson trying to grab hold of Daniel Cage, who quickly ducks out the way and dumps him straight over the top rope. And Watson is not going to be happy with how this match has started. He's just been outplayed completely. But as I say this, as you can see, Reed is on the apron here. He's creating a bit of a distraction, and Daniel Cage is grabbed from behind. Bam! Back body drop. And although you can't see him, Reed is clapping outside for that manoeuvre. And as we get into some chain wrestling here, I'd like to inform you all of our secondary show, World Renowned Wrestling Tempo, which will be televised later on in the week. If Gambit is the main show with all the top stars, Tempo is a proving ground for up-and-coming talent. Back to the match though, as Cage is launched over the top rope from a side headlock, and as you can see, he climbs back in here, ducks a punch and hits one of his own, and that starts a bit of a chop war as 1, 2, 3, 4. Daniel Cage says, go on, try it again, and Watson says, well, how about you give it a try? And it's broken down as them chops turn to punches. Watson dazed and confused as Cage grabs hold of him, picks him up and hits him with a backbreaker. Watson now rolling out the ring, hoping for some respite as Reed is back on the apron. Another distraction causes Cage to be hit in the back of the head with a clothesline, and it's time for Watson to show what he's made of as he lays in a number of punches. Daniel Cage rolls into the corner of the ring, not a great place to be, as another European uppercut into the chin of Cage, and then getting the boot straight into the chest. Watson is on fire right now. Cage is dazed. He has taken a little while to get to his feet. Watson just jumps straight on top of him. More punches to the head and the face. And Watson is just not letting up as he grabs Daniel Cage by the leg and just throws him across the ring, showing him what he thinks of him there. He's going up to the middle rope. This is not a place that Watson usually finds himself. As he drops the knees, Daniel Cage sidestepping out of the way as he grabs Watson. He picks him up into a back body drop, but no, just lands him straight on that knee. A move that has changed the momentum to Daniel Cage's favour as he hits Watson with a hip toss. Daniel Cage now the one in charge as he picks Watson back up, hits him with another hip toss. He's going to go maybe for another, but he gets kicked straight in the head by Watson, who grabs Cage and dunks him straight into the corner on top of that pad. He goes for a punch, but it looks like Daniel Cage elbowed reverse. This time Watson reversed with a knee, and what's he got in line for Cage as it looks like he's gone for a big run. He jumps into him, but another elbow by Cage and a flying forearm takes Watson straight down. Cage picking him back up, going for a high fisherman carry before backing off to the corner and pumping himself up. As you can see, he's got a few bruises around his face as he drops an elbow straight to the chest of Watson. If he hit it from the top rope, he might have been able to finish this match as he's done so many times over the past 3 years. Watson now trying to get a bit of distance between the two as he crawls under the ropes, but Cage is straight back on top of him, punch to the head, and he picks him up, back body drop straight on the apron there, the hardest part of the ring, straight into the back of Watson, and that must have been very, very painful as Cage throws him into the barrier at the ringside area here. What's he got in store? Grabs the arm, Russian leg sweep straight into the barrier, and Cage is coming back into the ring as the referee continues his count. What's he up to now? 6? Cage is on top of the rope, celebrating to the fans, maybe a bit premature as Watson gets back to his feet at the count of 8. But Cage is straight on top of him, bounces him off the ropes and hits that spine buster, a transition to a lot of the bigger moves that Cage will usually finish the match with, and it looks as though the DCBC is actually hooked in. Watson seems to be a long way from them ropes as he tries to reach out, but that's it, he's tapping, that is the end of the match. Daniel Cage is the winner and he is going through to the next stage of the tournament as he gets Watson to submit. You can just see how much it means to Cage to be able to win this match. He has come away with a bit of a battering. He's got a few bruises around his body and around his face there, but he will be happy nonetheless. Reed obviously not happy with his partner losing, but watch as he rolled into the ring and blindsides Cage. Cage hitting the floor there, Reed picking him up. What is this? It looks as though, yes, the altercation ended there by Reed, his finishing manoeuvre, and as you can see, Reed not happy with the loss his tag team partner has taken. But speaking of his tag team partner, Watson back into the ring. He's going to throw Cage off the ropes and hit him with the last orders. It looks like Cage will be going into his next match with a handicap as both men lift him into the air, and he has just been bounced. Never mind a handicap, Cage might not even make it to his next match. George Grimley says, "I'm the oldest wrestler on the rotor, and to be honest, I've been having thought of retiring recently. But now I've been entered into this tournament and all I can think about is just one more title. So I'm going to get in that ring with Jockstrapping and I'm going to beat him. And then I'm going to beat Daniel Cage and then beat whoever is unlucky enough to face me in the final. Because I deserve one last run." Well, we've just heard from George Grimley there, and hey, he makes it sound like it's going to be easy. But I don't think it is going to be easy because his first opponent is Jockstrapping. You can probably guess just by looking at him where he comes from, and yes, you are right, he comes from America, Boston, in fact. and it's his belief that only the very best pro wrestlers come from America. Anywhere else, they're just subpar. Now, for all he talks and for all he riles up the crowd here in England, you can't take away what he actually is, and he is very talented. And as I say that, he is gesturing for a microphone, so yes, we are going to hear from him. Jock Strapon says, "You know, a little while ago, you British tried to take over America. I know it's not really taught in your schools here, so let me give you the gist of what happened. We kicked your asses. It was back in 1783 when we picked you up and threw you out of the best country in the world. I bring this up because I have a sneaking suspicion that, knowing how old George Grimley is, he was probably one of your best soldiers at the time. And he lost, just like he's going to lose tonight." Well, I can't say I'm surprised by the lack of respect that Jock Strapon has shown. He's one of them type of people who thinks that he can win a fight before it even starts by getting into his opponent's head. And that might work sometimes, but he's dealing with a veteran of the sport here, George Grimley. George has been many places in his star-studded career, even as high as WWE, where he was at one point the Intercontinental Champion. He even wrestled alongside our owner George Sinclair in WWE, where they formed a brief tag team and even won the gold. Maybe it's these types of memories that's causing George to want one more run with the title. But enough about the past. Let's concentrate on the present, where this match is just getting started. We start with a few chops from Jock Strapon, who then grabs George and throws him straight into the corner. Big punch to the jaw there, times that by 2, and Strapon has started this match with an upper hand as he throws George into the corner, but George gets his feet up into his face, followed by a punch to his jaw and a backbreaker with authority. Strapon rolls onto his feet and hits George with a huge clothesline, and then lays the boot into George's chest there. As you can see, George having a hard time dealing with that as Strapon picks him back up. Strapon brings him to his shoulders, drops him down into that gut buster straight over his knee there, and goes for a pin, but I'm pretty sure George had his foot under the rope there. I don't think the referee must have seen that. Strapon picks him back up though, another punch to the jaw there, really not showing any kind of mercy as he brings George to the ropes, bounces him off and hits him with another clothesline. Will that be enough? Goes for another pin. Referee counts 1 and a kick out by Grimley. Strapon doesn't seem to be happy with the ref there. He can hear the crowd booing him, but he doesn't care as George gets the upper hand with a forearm to the back and a big back body drop there, followed by a drop kick to the back of the head. Strapon definitely felt that one, but rolls straight up, but that doesn't matter as George manages to tie him into an abdominal stretch with the added leg lift, but looks like Strapon, using his elbows on that knee, throws George as a hip toss straight into the bottom rope there. You've seen his leg get caught up on that rope. That's not going to help things at all for George. The link back up, off the ropes, drops down, and a tilt-the-world backbreaker. That could be it for George. That could be it. Referee gets in place. 1, 2, and a kick out by George. Strapon is not happy, but continues on anyway as George gets a big punch to the face there as he grabs George one more time and brings him back down with a big back body drop. Strapon gets onto the middle rope, and look at this, showboating as Strapon is well known for. Drops the elbow but misses. George manages to roll out the way, picking up Strapon himself. And what's he going for here? Some kind of armbar, but gets a forearm to the face as Strapon picks him up. Fall away slam, which is a signature move of Jock Strapon as he tells George to get back up on his feet. He's looking to finish this here, and this could be it. He brings him up, suplex position, and hits him with the Boston Tea Party. There we go. That is it for George. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's it. George is not kicking out of that finishing manoeuvre that jock Strapping is well known for. He picks up the win, continues on through the tournament. George is not going to be happy with it. As you heard in the interview beforehand, this was his one last run. That's what he was telling us. So what does this mean for George? Does this mean that this is it? Is he gonna hang up his boots? Oh, it doesn't. Well, he's not happy, as you can see. Well, he's telling Strapping exactly what he thinks about that finish, but Strapping doesn't care. Look at that smirk on his face. But George was beaten fairly, and Strapping does move on to the next part of the tournament. Vincent St. Clair says, "This is it, Dad. Just 3 matches and I'll be king." George St. Clair replies, "Alright, Vinny, you're barely out your training boots. There's more to this sport than muscles and toughness. Just take your time and remember, you're a St. Clair." Vincent St. Clair replies, "And St. Clairs win titles. I'm going to make you and Jackson proud." The young gun and the boss's son, Vincent St. Clair, is here. Now, some of you may have preconceptions of Vincent being, the son of a 2-time former WWE champion and obviously the owner of world-renowned wrestling. But let me tell you, he's a great guy. He's very down to earth, and he has been training his arse off to get into the position that he is in now. His father doesn't give him any shortcuts, and even if he did, I don't think Vincent would actually take them. He will have his hands full tonight. Well, that is, if he can actually get his hands on his opponent. That in itself is going to be quite the task, because his opponent is none other than the Daredevil, Zach X. If any of you watching now are wrestling fans, you have probably seen the videos going around the internet at the moment of some of the amazing things that Zach has done inside that ring. We've talked about other wrestlers climbing that ladder to get where they are to win that title. Well, this guy not only climbs the ladder, he jumps head first off it. I can already tell this match is going to have some huge highlights. Both men seem ready, so let's ring the bell and get this match started. Well, Zach showing no fear as he walks over to Vince and hits him with a few low kicks to the leg and then a low drop kick, bringing him down to the floor. Jumps straight up, springboard, moonsault, misses and gets hit with a neckbreaker in return by Vincent St. Clair, who picks him up, bounces Zach off the ropes, drops down and hits him with a flapjack straight onto his face. Vincent's absolutely feeling this right now, feeling the crowd pumping him up as he brings Zach X down with a snapmare, only to pick him back up and a headlock DDT. Wow, what a move. I would have thought Vincent might have tried a pin there, but no, hits him massively. Look at that left hook straight into Zach X's jaw as he gets a headlock takedown followed by a single leg drop kick. What can I say? What a brilliant match this young man's having. Shades of his father as he dictates what's happening in the ring, only to be dropped down by another low drop kick there. Curse of the commentator, I'm afraid. Few more low kicks, but Vincent going for that power slam, only for it to be reversed into a huge DDT there before Zach X bounces off the ropes and drops an elbow, causing Vincent to roll out the ring, which doesn't stop Zach X flying through the ropes and hitting Vincent with another DDT. Zach X now feeling it as the crowd is going wild, picks up Vincent on the mat outside there and hits him in the stomach with a gut kick, followed by a face buster on the mat. Vincent may be regretting his career choice right now as he's picked up by Zach and he is dumped back into the ring. But what's this? Kazamaya with a knee into the back of Zach X. What is Kazamaya doing? He isn't even part of this tournament as he picks up Zach above his head, military press, slams straight onto that mat. Zach X, he's in a lot of pain as he tries to crawl away from the big 6'10" Kazamaya, who's picking up steps with ill intent. He's going back over to Zach X, and he hits him straight into the head. Zach is out cold. You can see straight away as Kazumaya dumps the steps on the mat. He's in the ring. He's going in the ring. Vincent, get out of there, Vincent. He's hit with a shoulder tackle straight down. It's probably like getting hit by a truck at this point. Vincent still wary after the DTT and the facebuster outside as Kazumaya manhandles him straight over to the ropes here. Kazumaya now setting him up for what looks like, yes, it's going to be the tank bomb straight over the ropes, and he landed badly on the steps there. He might have really injured his head or his neck there. His head bounced off the steps as he hit. I mean, dropping from the ring to the mat below is bad enough, but the way that he hit his head on the bottom of them steps, I don't know. He's absolutely out cold. We need the medics out here right now. And I'm being told that we need to go to a break too. So we will be back after these messages. James Ali says, 2 weeks ago I won the title of King of World Renowned Wrestling. It was the best day of my life. I'd worked my entire life to get to the point where I was the face of this company, and I couldn't be happier. A week ago, that title was taken from me. I hadn't lost it in a match because, let's face it, no one can beat me. No, it got taken by owner George Sinclair because he wanted a clean slate for television. It's reasons like this why it took so long for me to win the title in the first place. Let me guess, George, you want the golden boy Daniel Cage to be king again? You're going to give him advantage after advantage like you always did? Well, I'm not letting it happen. I'm not waiting another 3 years for the title. I'm going to take what's rightfully mine, and nothing is going to stop me. Well, during the break, Vincent St. Clair was taken away in an ambulance. As soon as we have an update, I will let you know. But as they say, the show must go on. So let me introduce you to Eugene Evans. He is a newer member of the Rotor. He's only been with us 3 months, and within them 3 months he has not won a single match yet. Not great statistics at all, but that's how it goes sometimes. And he is in quite a position here, because as you heard in the interview with James R. Lee, he is not very happy at the moment with the title being taken away from him, and this is his first match back. I can only imagine that aggression is going to be taken out on poor Eugene here. But who knows? Eugene could pull something out the bag. You never know. And introducing the former king of world-renowned wrestling, James R. Lee. You know, I can completely understand it from his point of view. Just like Daniel Cage, James R. Lee is a complete workhorse when it comes to this company and to this sport. And to make it all the way to the top, only for it to be taken away from you a week later due to no fault of your own, not being pinned, not being tapped out, nothing like that. I can understand his frustration, I can understand his annoyance, I can understand his anger. That's not to say that when he did win the belt from Daniel Cage, there wasn't a bit of shenanigans happening behind the referee's back at the time. Still, he won the title and it was taken away from him, so he's going to do everything he can to win it back right now. Eugene Evans has an uphill battle in this match. I'm wondering what's the best tactic to use in this situation. Is he going to go all guns blazing? Is he going to be a bit more defensive? We're about to find out. Eugene Evans making a beeline straight for James R. Lee, who hooks him into the Tiger Bomb. Straight on the floor, one of James R. Lee's signature manoeuvres, puts Evans on the back foot as James R. Lee stalks him, gets him up to his shoulders. Here we go, finishing manoeuvre. The alley driver puts Evans down. Is that enough for a 3 count? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. Ali moves on in the tournament just like that. And maybe all that talk that I had before the match of him being so full of anger and things like that, maybe I'm completely wrong, because he looked absolutely focused right there and then. George St. Clair says, I'm following the ambulance to the hospital right now to see Vinny. He regained consciousness, but if anyone interferes with any future matches tonight, their contract will be terminated. Someone needs to win the title of King tonight. And Kazimierz, I don't know why you did what you did, but if I was medically cleared to enter that ring, I would beat it out of you. But don't worry, we'll have a little chat next week. Well, there we go. Next week, owner George Sinclair gets answers from Kazimierz. Why did he do it? What caused him to interfere in that match? And I should mention, not only was Vincent injured, but also Zach X was completely knocked out with the shot to the head with the stairs, which means neither of them went forward in the tournament, giving James Ali a bye, meaning whoever wins this match between Cage and Jock Strapping will be going against James Ali for the title of King. And as I say that, surprise attack, Strapping was hiding within the crowd, and as he's seen a hit, blindsided Daniel Cage and booted him on the floor. And as we see Strapping, the usual, taunting his opponent even after such a disgusting blindsided attack like that. Daniel Cage did not see him coming as he's rammed into the barrier by Strapping, lifts him up onto the barrier there, onto them ribs, as you can see, that are taped up from the attack from the Bristol Bouncers in our first match. Strapping not letting up as a scoop slam straight on the mat below, and Strapping finally gets in the ring for this match to start. Look at him there, taunting away in the corner, giving himself this big leg up in the match as Cage finally makes it into the ring, and the bell rings as he gets clotheslined immediately by Strapping. I mean, I suppose it just shows the length that people will go to win this title as Jock Strapping bounces off the ropes and hits Cage with another clothesline, this time going for a pin afterwards. 1, 2, just a 2 count before Cage kicks out, showing real strength after what his body has been through tonight already. And let's face it, it's only more to come, I think. Cage though, getting the upper hand, lifting Strapping up to his shoulders and dropping him over the top rope there before kicking him in the ankle, hopefully slowing him down, I'm sure. As Cage grabs both arms up to his shoulders and a power slam straight down to the ring there as Strapping needs to make a quick getaway. But look at Cage, what's he signalling for? He jumps through the ropes and straight down on them injured ribs on the mat below. That can't have felt good. There's a rake to the eyes from Strapping, and then a neck breaker once again on them thin mats outside the ring there. Not much protection at all, there's only concrete underneath. And I'm guessing Strapping now going for a count out victory maybe, as Cage makes it to his feet. Strapping didn't seem to have noticed though, as he continuously shows off to the crowd. Daniel Cage going to put a stop to it, but gets reversed with a punch and receives a punch in return. Strapping on the offensive now, picking Cage back up to his feet and throwing Cage straight into the turnbuckle so hard he bounces straight off it. And look at that, just a straight kick to the back of the head. And I think Strapping is starting to feel the end is nigh as he picks Cage up, and then a fall-away slam. Cage managing to reverse though, putting all his weight into it. And now he needs something to bring him back on track. He needs to do some damage to Strapping, who's almost fresh as a daisy. You can see him go for another punch, but he's thrown overhead with a massive exploder suplex by Cage, who brings Strapping back to his feet, and an overhead belly to belly. He's now feeling it. Cage has got something up his sleeve. He screams at Strapping to get back on his feet before hitting him with a flying forearm, and as you can see, he's starting to feel it now. He's telling the crowd, this is it, get ready for something special. Another overhead, but no reversed. Headbutt by Strapping, and then slamming his head into the mat. This could go either way. Both competitors showing that they are giving everything they have as Strapping hits a few body shots, followed by, boom, a signature fall-away slam. And he usually follows this up with that Boston Tea Party, which has ended so many matches. But watch this, quick roll-up by Cage. 1, 2, 3, he gets it! Cage gets it! Strapping can't believe it! Look at the anger in his face as he tells Cage to get back up. And here we go, pulls him in to that suplex position. Cage can't fight it off, and the Boston Tea Party hits flush. Well, Cage may have won the battle, but I'm afraid the war is not over just yet. One more match with James Ali, and with the ribs already injured. Well, it looks like Ali is not going to wait to get this match underway as Cage struggles to get to his feet. Ali grabbing the arm, maybe going for that Ali driver, but no, reverse punch in the face, and there's a spine buster. Signature Daniel Cage, which leads up. Yes, he's grabbing the legs. DC, BC, hooked in. Ali is away from the ropes, but he is still fresh. He can fight it, but only for so long. Oh, what's this? Lights have gone down. But wait, that music! It can only belong to one team in pro wrestling, and there she is. It's Anna Foxton from the street. But what is she doing here? They don't work for us. They're not part of the roster. And there he is, Harry Armstrong and Pete Young, one of the best tag teams in the history of pro wrestling. I mean, let me explain it to anyone who doesn't know their wrestling history. Simply put, the street have been everywhere and they have done everything there is to do. Every top star beaten, every championship won. And Cage looks as confused as I feel, but behind him, Adam Smith with the surprise attack, and bam! The 929. And outside the ring, James Ali rolled under the ropes after the DCBC, met by David Foxton, who is well known for these insanity power bombs. 1, 2, and 3. And now Harry Armstrong and Pete Young making their way into the ring towards a very defenseless Daniel Cage. And Armstrong is gesturing for this big choke slam, the High Street Slam, as he plants Cage into the mat. And back outside the ring, Adam Smith picking up Ali. He whispered something and then hits him with the 929. And Pete Young on the apron, River Cold Plunge on Cage. And a vicious chair shot from Anna Foxton. Unfortunately, this is all we have time for tonight, but hopefully we will get answers next week on World Renowned Wrestling Gambit.